Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do a spline miter joint. And the way I'm going to show you how to do it, a lot of times when people do these, they use a jig or a fixture, a special sled, things like that. And there's several different ways to do this. I'm going to show you how to do that without all of that. It's very simple. And the reason we're doing this, okay, when you have, a miter joint, so this is just two pieces cut at a 45 degree and they're glued together, and it's just nothing but wood and glue. The miter joint is a weak joint by itself. Okay, it needs something else to bolster that joint. Okay, the way that the most common way to make a wood joint stronger is to increase your wood to wood contact. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put a spline. This is one that I've cut. Okay, and we're going to put a wood spline, glue a wood spline into that. Okay, and that is going to strengthen it tremendously. So what I've done, let me get you down here where you can see. First of all, to do this, I need to remove the guard. This is not a through cut, so I've removed the guard, and that should tell you that if we're doing one of these in class, I'm doing the operation. Okay, I'm going to be down here with my fingers around the blade, so I've disconnected power. Okay, so what we're going to do, which where you can see here. Okay, so we're going to mark how deep we want that to be. Okay, and so I've got my spline already cut, which is a good idea. And what I'm going to do, and so basically this spline is the same thickness as the thickness of the blade. Okay, that's the simplest way to do it. And I've cut this so that I've got a 45 degree here and a 45 degree here. So this is the direction of my grain in my spline. Okay, you can also use plywood for a spline. Plywood's a very stable product. It's a good idea to use plywood as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got these 45s cut. What I'm doing is I'm marking. Okay, I've marked the depth that I want for that spline cut. Okay, so we are going to, okay, I'm going to bring the fence right up here. Now, you see here, I want to set the depth of my blade so that you can see where the blade meets the edge of the board at the bottom of the board. Okay, is right at the line. So I'm going to put that at the line. But you see here, it's much lower than the line. That tells me I need to raise my blade. Okay, so I'm going to raise my blade quite a bit. Recheck it here. Okay, that's where that needs to be. I'm still low here. I'm going to raise it some more. Okay, recheck it. Right there. Still need some more. And again, there's several different ways to do a spline miter, but this is the simplest way that I've found. Okay, a little bit more. That, too much. I'll move my hand in a second so you can see what I'm doing here. That is pretty good right there. Okay, I'm touching the line at the top and the bottom. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw a little reference line right there on my fence. Okay, pull that back, and you can see that line I just made. So what I'm going to do now, you can do this with a sliver of wood with two-sided tape. I'm just going to use a piece of masking tape to mark this. Okay, I want to put that, make sure it's square, make sure it's lined up with the line, top to bottom. Okay, That's where I want to stop my cut. Okay. So there we go. Now I'm going to set this up so that I want to be centered in the wood. Okay. Since I've already, of course, this is a really good reason to know how to read a tape measure. Okay. I'm just using my existing cut to line it up, but normally we would just line it up for the center. Okay. 3/4 inch thick board. We know that we need to be 3/8 to the center of the blade from the fence. Okay. So lock my fence down. I'm going to plug it in. Okay. So what you're going to see me do, okay, is, yep, here's the one I marked, okay, and you're going to see me send it in until it touches the tape, and that's it. That's your cut. Here we go. Do the tape, done. Got to be real careful backing out of that. You get things askew while you're backing out of that. Things could go south in a hurry. So we've made our cut. Okay. So we're going to see how that fits. Okay. All the way in. Look at that. There. Needs a little adjustment. Okay. Now, I would obviously put glue on both sides of that spline, and then that joint without glue is obviously nothing. I was just checking for fit, but obviously I just want a thin film of glue on both sides of the spline. Every time you're doing this, you have two parts to any joint, a male and a female. You always apply glue to the male side of the joint, not the female. I'm not just going to drip glue down in there. That is not effective. I want to put a film of glue on both sides of my spline, and then just slide it in and wipe up your glue. And that suddenly has become a very strong joint.